Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this unseen video where we round up all the talking points from social media, and we've got another action-packed episode. We're going to start in the WWE folder. Director of Character Development Rob Fee states that WWE on Netflix is only going to get more addicting from here. He said, over the next several weeks and months and years, you're going to see stories from the beginning and how they start building, how these relationships play out. He says that you'll get invested in the stories. The nuance is captivating and so much attention to detail. If you enjoyed tonight, you're in for a treat because it's only going to get more addicting from here. And obviously we did a video earlier talking about the ratings, and there's lots of talk doing the rounds about those numbers. I think we did a pretty good job of kind of breaking them down, thanks of course to WrestleNomics, who really did provide a key piece of information. So if you want to know how that show performed, Raw on Netflix premiere, or certainly the best indicator we have at the moment of how that show performed, there is a separate video, which I would urge you check out if you haven't seen it already, right? But it seems like Rob Fee is very excited about this new era and what we're going to be able to do with it and the stories we're going to be able to tell. Christopher, shout out to you. So WWE has announced a partnership with Cosm to broadcast premium live events in shared reality at Cosm venues. Looked at this on the members stream. I believe that there are 2 venues with another 2 on the way. And this is basically a bit like the Sphere. It's a giant kind of curved, domed cinema in a way, where you can actually go in and the screen is like 12K plus. It's like massive domed kind of screen, and it's meant to be like this new way of experiencing like your favorite live events. WWE have signed up, so this means that some future premium live events are going to be shown in these spaces. But as we said, there's only 2, I think, in the world at the moment, with another 2 coming in, all of them in America. But honestly, this is something that could really take over. I could see this being something that could work, like, you know, getting your mates together, going down and actually watching WrestleMania or watching UFC or watching the Super Bowl or something in this kind of space. It's kind of like a cinema on steroids. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, but it's still not in enough places for it to be truly exciting for everyone. Bobby, thank you. So Wrestlemania reporting that WWE were not aware beforehand that Travis Scott was planning on smoking during his entrance. There was no heat on him for it, right? So this caught them by surprise. They weren't aware that he was going to be doing this. So, yeah, honestly, I would love to have seen the reaction in Gorilla in that moment. Bobby, again, thank you. WWE Royal Rumble 2025 is set to feature iconic legends at the Lucas Oil Stadium. Now, what this story is saying is that they're going to get previous winners to actually be at the Royal Rumble, not in the Royal Rumble, just at the event. I'm thinking kickoff show. I'm thinking shown in the crowds. It's great. You know, people like Hacksaw Jim Duggan that won the very first one. Ric Flair, you know, that won in 92. I mean, super iconic victory that was, but actually get like lots of winners of the Royal Rumble. I don't know they'll go and get all the previous winners, but they're going to try and get a lot of the winners and just have them featured, not in the Rumble. Let's not get too carried away, but just have them at the event. Talking of the Rumble, WrestleBuzz, thank you. I always find this so interesting. These are the current betting gods, right? And actually, if you're in America, you might want to look at this one, this Seth Rollins one. You'll see why in a second. But at the moment, John Cena is the biggest favourite. The bigger the minus number, the better. The higher the plus number, the more of an outsider they are. So John Cena at minus 200, he is the firm favourite to win the Royal Rumble. Then it is CM Punk at plus 275. Then The Rock plus 425. Roman at plus 700. Seth at plus 2,000. And as I said, that might be worth a shot, right? And then Jay at plus 2,200. When it comes to the women, Charlotte is the current favourite at plus 225. So it doesn't look like anyone here has got a minus number, which means they're not very confident about who the favourite is, right? You can see that Becky is actually quite close. Charlotte plus 225, Becky plus 305. Not a massive difference. Then it's Rhea at plus 350, same as Io. Then it's Bianca at plus 600 and Alexa at plus 700. And the reason why I was talking about Seth is because, Robbie, thank you, according to Skybet, which is another betting outlet, but just one here in the UK, they have John Cena and Seth Rollins as the two favourites. So it's really interesting. Here in the UK, these two are the two favourites, but over in America, Seth is nowhere near a favourite. Plus 2,000 is quite an outside chance. That means if you bet $100 and Seth wins, you would win $2,000 back, right? So that's why that's kind of interesting, because in the UK, these two are the two favourites. I think John. I mean, I agree with John being the favourite. But I do also think that they might have John win the Elimination Chamber. They might want John to just fall short at the Rumble so that he then has to go into Elimination Chamber and try and get to WrestleMania that way. I don't know that they want him to win the Rumble and just go straight to Mania and it's all very simple. It's all very easy. I don't know that they're going to want that for him. But I do think he will be in a title match at WrestleMania. Word on the street is it's going to be him against Cody. That's the current plan. That's the current believed plan, is John Cena against Cody Rhodes. So that's why John Cena is so many people's favourites to win the Rumble. But just something to keep an eye on. Right, this was big. This was big news, but not surprising, right? I didn't feel a need to do a video on this because we've spoke about this, and I think we're all waiting for her to come in. A lot of you think that Howdy has gone off to go and get Alexa, for example. So, WrestleVotes reporting that the highly anticipated return of Alexa Bliss is on the horizon. According to a well-placed source, creative is reportedly being worked on for her in future plans, with merchandise and promotional materials already in development. So the wheels are turning. We are very much underway towards Alexa's return. No details as to whether she's going to come straight into the Wyatt Six or if she's going to come back and be her own character away from the Wyatt Six. I did a quick poll earlier. The majority, the last I saw, said that they wanted her to come back and not be in the Wyatt Six. They wanted her to come back and then we do a story where the Wyatt Six try to bring her in. And actually, I think that would be really fun rather than her just coming back and she's just straight into the group, right? So I actually agree. I would like her to come back and not be in the Wyatt Six straight away, but that's just a preference, you know, a personal preference. So I'm thinking we're looking really any week, probably no later than the Royal Rumble. Maybe the Rumble will be a good landing spot for her, but yeah, it's been long reported early 2025. So as we said, not surprising, but it will still be very exciting news for many of you. PW Chronicle, getting this from WrestleVotes, that Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair's names now officially appear on the internal active roster. As of this week, Lynch is set to return to Raw, and Charlotte is set to return to SmackDown. Yeah, this was very disappointing. So, Bradley, thank you. There is a video which is very interesting to watch. You can actually hear Mark Henry saying these words. This isn't something that has been said, and we don't have any evidence that Mark Henry has said it. He's actually said it in, I think it was a TMZ interview. They asked him about what he... Yeah, there we go, TMZ. They asked him about his thoughts about Raw, and he was talking about how amazing the production was. And then they asked him about Hogan. And I really thought he was going to give a bit of a politician's answer where he doesn't really answer it. But he didn't. He did answer it. And he even gave us a little bit more insight. He said that, you know, Hogan's of the opinion that this will just blow away. And it's not going to just blow away. He said he even offered to do a tour with Hogan of black colleges and law schools in America to explain what happened. But Hogan declined the offer. Now, this is difficult because I sort of feel like that's obviously not a good look for Hogan. But in Hogan's defense, he could be looking at this thinking, how is that going to help? Like, how is that? I've upset the average person, the average wrestling fan will have seen these comments and they will be really disappointed in what I've said. And, you know, it's them that I need to apologize to and make amends to. How does going to black colleges and law schools, how does that help? I mean, it's a good visual. It shows you're taking accountability. It shows that you're trying to educate yourself. I like all of that. But I think for me, I look at this and I'm like, Hogan might have had many reasons for turning this offer down. It might not be that he doesn't care, right? That's obviously one thought that comes to mind, is that, oh, he just doesn't care and that's why he turned it down. But what if it's not that? What if he's looking at it thinking, I don't think this is going to help. I don't think this is going to change the situation. I don't think this is going to be constructive. But then obviously the question would be, okay, well, what did he do instead? And I can't answer that, right? So, you know, I don't want to be trying to find defenses for him. But in regards to this, I think the first natural reaction is he just doesn't care. He deserves everything he's getting. And that's fine. I wouldn't argue with anyone that had that stance. But equally, I always try to think, if I was in this situation, you know, would I accept this offer? And I genuinely don't know, because I might be working with an advisor that's telling me, no, don't do that. We'll do this instead. But of course, people are going to rightfully ask, okay, well, what did he do instead? And I can't answer that. I do think Hogan just does not help himself on this. I feel like the public don't feel like he ever really apologized, ever really made amends. And actually hearing Mark Henry say Hogan just thinks this is all going to blow over, that is kind of the impression I always had as well about how Hogan reacted to this. So yeah, look, in retrospect, he absolutely should have done this. He absolutely should have took up this offer. I would have been okay with him not, had he have done something else instead. And maybe he can come out and explain, well, I turned that down because I did this, this, and this, you know. But off the top of my head, I can't think of what he did instead. So that's the latest on the Hogan stuff, right? Robin, thank you. So Braun Strowman said he was diagnosed with a very bad flu and he lost 36 pounds in a week. So this is why we've not seen Braun Strowman for a little while, right? It hasn't been too long, but this is why he's not been around. He's had bad flu and he's lost 36 pounds, which is incredible if you think about it. I know that Triple H said that the plans for Smackdown had recently changed and that someone just last Friday was off with flu. And I remember mentioning that in a previous Unseen. Well, now we know who it was. It was Braun Strowman. So obviously we're wishing him a very speedy recovery. Word of Wrestling, shout out to you. So The Rock postponing WrestleMania 41 storyline with himself for John Cena. So The Rock suggested delaying his WWE storyline so that the spotlight could be on John Cena a little bit more for this year. So I can't quite remember where this story has come from. So we're actually going to take a look at it live, right? So it is coming from, according to Bill Batty, not a source that I use, to be honest. So, I mean, I would say take this with a pinch of salt. Billy Batty's report on the Dirty Sheets Backstage Informer podcast. The Rock is pushing for the spotlight to be on John Cena at this year's event, signaling a shift in plans for his own storyline. The official reason being given by The Rock to WWE is that he feels that this year's WrestleMania should mainly be John Cena and that he's willing to wait to pick up his storyline with Cody Rhodes. This wasn't 100% decided, and it's still not 100% decided. Honestly, I want to show you that because obviously it's interesting. It's the first time I've heard of it. Ringside News have picked up on it, but it's not coming from a source that I tend to use or get information from. So I would say very much take it with a pinch of salt. And then, of course, you've got the whole caveat of it's still not decided. Like, you know, he wants the spotlight to be on John Cena, but they still haven't decided if that's what they're going to do. So it seems a bit wishy-washy to me. But I wanted to include it because it was interesting. So, Seth Rollins, right. So, Chris Van Vliet has done an interview with Seth, and there's been quite a lot of juicy stuff that's come out of that interview. I would urge that, of course, you check it out. I'm not trying to give away everything that's in that interview, just a few key things that jumped out. You might remember yesterday I'd seen a picture, this picture, where he had a mark underneath his eye, And people were reporting that that was as a result of the last GTS that CM Punk had given him. And I said in the last Unseen, I'm not going to include this picture because I don't know if those people are telling the truth. Well, actually, more reliable accounts have come out now with that image. Here you can see Fadeaway Media saying Seth Rollins left with a black eye after his main event with CM Punk. I think this image coming from Black and Brave Wrestling. So this was in yesterday's thumbnail. But I just wanted to include it for those that never noticed or never saw yesterday's video. So you can see the mark under his eye. So Charlie, thank you. Eric, shout out to you. So Seth Rollins says that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes wouldn't be where they are right now without him. And honestly, I mean, there probably is some truth to that. Obviously, Cody went away, came back. He had those matches with Seth. I mean, could you have taken Seth out and maybe done those matches with Kevin instead? Would that have, made a difference? I don't know if Seth helped Cody and gave him any contacts. I know Kevin did. Kevin gave Cody the Young Bucks number. And as a result of that, he went off New Japan, AEW, all of that stuff. So I feel like it's okay for Seth to take a bit of credit here. But it would be wrong to say that it's exclusively because of Seth. I think Seth's played his part, let's put it that way. But if Seth wasn't around, could someone else have stepped in? You know? I think they probably could, to be honest. But, we can't really operate in a world of, well, if he wasn't here, what if? We operate in the world of everything that's happened has happened. And Seth, I would say, has certainly played his role, has played his part in these two getting where they are. Seth Rollins explains why CM Punk leaving WWE in 2014 was one of the most selfish things he had ever seen out of a human. And do you know what? I read this quote. I'm not going to bother reading it because it's really long. And I didn't really agree with it. But I think there's one thing that actually I'm overlooking, right? So CM Punk had enough and he left. I don't think that's selfish. I think that's absolutely fine. I think the key part, though, is that CM Punk was taking shots at WWE whilst he was away, and he was not happy at anyone that really stayed. I don't know what kind of solidarity he was looking for, but the point that Seth is making is that he was just starting out. He'd only been on the main roster since the end of 2012, so by the early part of 2014, when CM Punk walks out, Seth hasn't really been on the main roster all that long. He's certainly not at a point financially where he can just walk away. And as he says, there's no AEW for him to go to at that time. So, there's nowhere he's going to get the same amount of money as what he's getting in WWE. And so he was saying that Punk was being really selfish by walking out and expecting others to do the same. And the only bit I struggle with is I don't know that Punk expected others to do the same. I'd have to go back and see what messages were being put out, what communications were being put out. I mean, I was watching wrestling at that time, of course, but I was also working. So I was not sat on social media. In fact, I really didn't use social media. So I feel like there might have been a lot of communications that I've missed out on from that time period where CM Punk may have said some stuff about wanting people to walk out and show solidarity with him. If he said those kind of things, then I totally understand where Seth is coming from. If he didn't, and Seth just sort of felt like that's what Punk wanted, maybe there's a bit of mixed communication in there or something. Don't know. I found it very interesting because I don't think Punk walking out was necessarily selfish, right? I don't agree with it. I think you should see your contract out, right? I didn't agree with Mercedes walking out and I didn't agree with Punk walking out, but he did. And that was it. The rest of the roster pick up the slack. We haven't missed Sasha walking out. And the fans certainly did miss CM Punk, but, we're talking, 2014? What did we have? Daniel Bryan? I mean, WrestleMania. I mean, WrestleMania 30 is a brilliant WrestleMania. We had the end of the streak. They really pulled the trigger on Brock Lesnar, took him to a different level. He's destroying John Cena later that year at SummerSlam. I mean, CM Punk was missed because he was so loved, but WWE kept rolling. We broke up the Shield that year. And then, of course, you've got Roman and Seth and you've got Dean Ambrose all going on their own, setting up all these new stories. The machine just kept rolling forward in my mind. So, I don't know. It's one of those where, Seth's opinion is Seth's opinion. He lived through it. He'll know more than me. But I was very surprised him describing Punk walking out as one of the most selfish things. But I don't think he's talking so much about the walkout. I think he's talking more about the expectation that other wrestlers would have walked out and shown solidarity when they just weren't in the position to do that. Right, he opens up about his reaction to Punk's return. He just says, like, we didn't need him, but it's Chicago, it's his city, it's just the most classic make everything about me CM Punk moment. I mean, look, we heard that the animosity between these two is very real, so I don't doubt these comments, but I do also think that Seth may have gone on to Chris Van Vliet a little bit in character. I do think that he's in the middle of a feud with CM Punk. I don't know when this was recorded, right? I don't know if this was recorded after Monday. I would imagine it was actually recorded before Monday. And so, you know, maybe by that point he still hadn't had the match. And so, you know, he's not going to want to come out and be singing his praises. So there might be a little bit of character work in here. I don't know. It's hard to know with this feud where the truth ends and the story starts, you know? It's quite difficult. But he was saying, like, it was Randy's moment, and it was unreal. We didn't need him, but it's Chicago. It's his city. It's the most classic make everything about me CM Punk moment. So, interesting. And then this is something that, if you are a fan of WWE and have been for a while, you'll know this. Seth Rollins reveals that the original idea for the Shield was to serve as bodyguard unit for CM Punk. But the group originally was going to be Seth, Jon Moxley, and Chris Hero. But the office really liked Roman Reigns, and so they went with Roman instead. But again, if you're a long-time WWE fan, that's not like a big crazy reveal. But for some people out there that might not know that news, it's always hard to know. You know, I mean, there's people coming into wrestling for the first time all the time. So, right, that was WWE. That was the Seth folder. Let's go into fun, shall we? 90s WWE said Triple H noticed some fans giving him abuse, so he intentionally spit water at them. So here, look, we've got Triple H. He spots these fans. I mean, I don't remember seeing this entrance or seeing him do this, but look at that. It looks like it was on Raw. And he doesn't spit it up. He spits it straight out and straight into that front row. Omos is so humble. This is great. This dude on the street bumped into Omos in Japan and asked him questions. And this is really good.
Are you famous?
I wouldn't say so.
He's famous.
Definitely
I
famous.
was just going to say he's famous.
Oh, he's definitely famous. You are really tall, man.
Yes, I am.
And you in the NBA?
No, I wrestle for WWE.
You wrestle?
Yes.
Are you okay with being in the video?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's talk, man.
All right.
Oh, you got the DJI Pocket 3?
Yeah, I'm trying to, have some content myself. You know?
So you wrestle?
Yes.
Like
WWE.
WWE?
Yes, correct.
What's your name?
Omos.
Full name?
The Nigerian giant Omos.
What's your favorite thing about Japan so far?
The people. Everybody's been super nice.
Super nice?
Yes.
What about the food?
It took me a little bit because this is my first time ever in Japan. I think I'm beginning to figure it out now.
Yeah.
I do love the yakiniku.
The yakiniku is busting.
That it is. That it is.
Do you have any culture shock here?
To be honest, there's a lot of rules.
A lot of rules, like...
Yes, I'm an avid gym goer.
Yeah.
So the indoor-outdoor gyms, I understand for the house because I'm African. But for the gym, that was like a new phenomenon for me. So that was the biggest culture shock, yes.
And what's your favorite thing you've done here in Japan so far?
Oh, wrestle. I wrestled at the Nippon Budokan.
Nippon Budokan?
Yes, I wrestled Nippon Budokan
Oh.
in person. I'm going to be wrestling again, me and my tag team partner, on January 11th at the Kudokan Hall.
The Nigerian giant.
Yes, correct.
That's what's up. I just see your hands compared to my... Bro, your shoe size?
Yeah, 18.
18 inches? You make me look like I'm a little person.
Hey, man. I make everybody feel like a little person.
Isn't he just the nicest guy in the world? Isn't he just the I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's something in the presentation that you could do there, but I'm just watching this, and I'm like, man, he just seems like the nicest bloke, and I would love to see... Part of me is like, I want to see that on TV, but then part of me is like, oh, but he's a giant, and he should be presented as a giant. But then, why can't he be nice and a face? But if you cross him, and he's angry, he loses it, and he turns into that giant, and there's no... You know what I mean? Like, why can't we show... the different sides of his personality? I don't know, man. I thought that was so good. Drew, Sammy, Sammy is even taking L's in crowd fights now. There was a fist fight at Madison Square Garden, Knicks versus Raptors. I'm actually a Raptors fan, so I'm about to go over there, actually. I'm about to join him. Gonna mess them all up, all these New Yorkers, yeah. But I'm gonna finish this first. But yeah, there's a dude that looks like Sammy who is Canadian, actually. So perhaps he's in there supporting the Raptors. And yeah, this is pretty fun. You can see, look, there he is. It really does look like him. It really does look like him. This is great trolling from Drew, though. Sammy even taking L's in crowd fights now. Go on, Sammy! Go on, Sammy! Yes. Yes. I'm a big Sammy fan. I'm going to go and help my brother from another mother. It really does look like him as well. Right, Fade said Liv Morgan spotted a mid-Morgan sign and destroyed it. She got really upset, actually. Liv Morgan steals my sign at the Netflix premiere, look. See how she grabs it? She's like, this is my moment. Look, she really goes for that sign. She really does not want that to be seen. So, there we go. Dominic walking over it as well. Kicking it back. Mid-Morgan. Very good. I've seen this as well. The Fegan said, whoa, this is pretty crazy. I don't know why this dude decided to go with Roman. I have seen some others designs, though. But look at this. Look at that. Look at that. It's pretty good, isn't it? I saw one where it was just a different person. I don't think it was a celebrity. It actually looked even better. That one, you can sort of tell it's not quite his face. But there was another one where, like, he did it, and I think it kind of fitted a bit better, and it really looked like his face. It was amazing. So, yeah, that was great. Right, yeah, I forgot about this. Little Undertaker. So this is on Facebook. Let's see if we can... good. I was going to say, let's take the sound off. Look at the little Undertaker. Let me see if I can get it to line up a bit better. So here we have got... Undertaker with a small fan. Look at that. Little Undertaker with Undertaker. Isn't that great? Right. Yeah, look at this. Big E said, why? Why is this a regular occurrence? So there's his girlfriend just chewing on his arm, right? Just a lovely little image for this couple, right? Xavier said, because that's what leeches do. Taking shots at their relationship. Okay, community, congrats to Brady. Got a like and a retweet from Alexa Bliss, Lexi Kaufman Cabana. So there we go, Brady. Congrats. TJF, shout out to you. Yes, TJF, the new Wrestling Days community champion. We crowned a community champion in our members stream, and it is TJF 1983. So many congrats, and also getting a like from Natalia the Boat. Fitzy said, check this out. Found it in Walmart. It was on clearance. Amazing. $30. That means each of these figures, these elite figures, just $10 each. That is an amazing set to pick up for $30. If you see that in your local Walmarts, I really recommend picking it up for $30. That is amazing. So Fitzy, thank you. The Falkirk fan said, look who follows me. Here we go. We're back to the Jumping Bomb Angels. So got a like and a follow. So Falkirk fan, congrats. Raymond, congrats getting a like from Matt Hardy, WWE legend. Matt Hardy leaving a like for Raymond. And as well as that, look, TJF has got a few items, signed items. Here we have got, if we can go full screen. We've got this, look, follow the buzzards, Bray Wyatt. We've also got this Triple H signed, which is nice. We've got these as well. Look at that. signed by, I think that must be Bray up there, and that's certainly Alexa. That's lovely. And honestly, I think this was my favorite one. And the reason why this was my favorite one is because it was Thunderdome. It's Thunderdome, so no one was actually there. And it's not only signed by Drew and Roman, it's signed by Heyman as well. So you got Drew, you got Roman, signed by Heyman. We're talking 2020, no crowds. I mean, that is not an item that I imagine there's many of. And so that to me strikes me as something really special. Plus getting Roman's signature is really special anyway. That is an amazing item. So love those. TJF, congrats. And Samir, I love this story. I always wanted this as a kid, but I just never could. In my day, WWE stuff was only available by mail order in a WWF magazine, and times were hard. So now, as a 34-year-old, I finally have it. God bless the interwebs. I love that story. And you know what? It means so much more. If you had got this back in the day, you would have loved it, no doubt. But now that you've had to wait so long for it, and, as you said, times are hard. I was in that boat. You know, a lot of the stuff I got when I was a kid was secondhand from car boot sales. We couldn't afford to get, like, brand new videos, brand new toys and all that kind of stuff. And the vast majority of my stuff was secondhand that people were selling at car boot sales. So, yeah, I totally understand. I've been there as well. And it just makes it more special. So I absolutely love that post. So Samir, shout out to you, my friend. I absolutely love that. Right, I think we've just got other and thanks to get through. So congrats to Ronda Rousey and her husband on the birth of their second daughter. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. Look at this. Poor kid. There we go. James, this was bonkers. I can't quite figure out if Sonny was just being nice. You know, just being friendly, and maybe it got took the wrong way. But JR has revealed that after his wife died, and we looked during the members stream, it was 2017. I mean, it's not like the day of his wife dying. It might have been a month later, 2 months later, 6 months later. I'm not sure. But after his wife had passed away, he was contacted by Sonny, and she was like, listen, I can come round, I can cook, I can help out in the bedroom, you know? And she was offering to kind of get with him. And he said he turned down an offer from Tammy Sitch. She wanted to move in, cook, and take care of him in the bedroom. I wonder if some of that was just like throwaway, because it just seems so weird. It seems so random. I feel like I would like to hear her side of it, because I don't quite understand. Like, I don't know, did she always fancy him or something? I think there's quite an age gap. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just so random. It's so random. Part of me wonders if she said it as a bit flirty. She didn't really mean it. And, like, he's took it as being a bit serious. I just don't know. I don't know. This whole story just blew my mind. So this is doing the rounds, that she offered to move in, cook, and take care of him in the bedroom. Perhaps that means, like, tuck him in. Fluff his pillows and tuck him in. And that's what she meant. And maybe we're all just dirty-minded. So, James, shout out to you. Yeah, I watched the trailer for this, and honestly, I'm not into anime or manga or whatever the flip this is, but I was like, okay, I'll watch it, see if I can hear, like, you know, Alexa's voice. I couldn't. It's probably in there, but I actually got just sucked into the story. And it's about this hitman that's not a hitman anymore, and he's made a promise to his wife that he's no longer going to be a hitman, but he's kind of getting sucked back into that world, and it's called Sakamoto Days. So WWE star Alexa Bliss has lent her voice to the English dub of Netflix anime series Sakamoto Days, which is going to be my new second channel. Voicing the character Obiguro. So here's Alexa. So CM Chunk, thank you. Such an honor to voice Obiguro in Sakamoto Days. Can't wait for this. I want to watch this. I have never watched an anime in my life. I've never watched any Studio Ghibli. And yeah, can we sort this out? I had so many people getting in touch going, oh, you know who Macaulay Culkin's brother is. It's this person. No, I don't. I didn't know he had a brother, right? And people are like, oh, it's the kid in Home Alone that, like, was going to wet the bed. I haven't seen Home Alone in over 20 years. I haven't seen Home Alone in over 20 years. I can't remember everything that happens in that film, right? People are telling me is the kid that is going to wet the bed. I'm like, what kid that's going to wet the bed? We live very different lives, yeah? I am not a film person. I've got so many classic films that I haven't watched. I'm more of a TV show person. I'm more of a documentary person. I'm more of a wrestling person. So that's where I spend my time. I had so many people going, come on, you saw him in this film or this film. I ain't never seen them films. I've never seen these films that you speak of, right? So, no, I did not know that Macaulay Culkin had a brother. I didn't know that he was in Home Alone. I didn't know there was a kid that was going to wet the beds until people started getting in touch with me. So, does that make me a boomer? Sure, but we all knew I was a boomer anyway. Malakai Black is believed to be finishing up with AEW. A lot of people, Robbie here, going, could it be that he's coming to WWE? There's got to be a great chance. Zelina is in WWE. She is his wife. I think Triple H always had time for Aleister Black. Not so sure about Vince, but come on. You're telling me that we can't find something for him in WWE in 2025, 2026? Of course we can. Of course we can. So I will be surprised if he doesn't. Lynette, shout out to you. She said Nikki has changed her bio on IG. She has now added back all her WWE stuff. So apparently bridges have been rebuilt. So I would like to see them come in. I really would. I know not everyone is eager, but I would like to see it. Samantha, thank you. Kurt Angle said it was an honor to be inducted into the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame today in Albany. Look at some of these names. You've got Bret Hart over there, Bruno Sammartino over here, everyone's favorite wrestler over there, Hulk Hogan, Mil Mascares, Billy Robinson, Ric Flair, and now we can add Kurt Angle to the wall. Johnny, shout out to you. So the first trailer to Paul W.S. Anderson's In the Lost Lands stars Dave Bautista and Mila Jovovich. So there we go. I think she was in Resident Evil. See? I've never seen the films, but I've heard of them. And Dave Bautista. So if you're a big Bautista head, he's in a new film that's in cinemas March 7th. Aaron, shout out to you, said happy that she's back in wrestling. PW Chronicle saying that Jojo Offerman made an appearance in AEW. Those spoken to within AEW said that Jojo, why do they say her full name all the time? Jojo Offerman is expected to be doing more with the company. That is per Fightful Select. So there we go. No detail, but she's expected to do more going forwards. Right, let's get thanks and get out of here. So, WrestleBuzz, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Kapata, thank you, buds. Got a like from R-Truth. Congrats. That's a good one to get. So, Kapata, shout out to you. Uncle Rebel, thank you for the retweet. White Rabbit, thank you for the retweet, my friend. Really appreciate it. King Yeet Newsletter, thank you, my friends. Christopher, appreciate the tag. Babs the Barbarian, thank you, my friend. Casper, thank you, buds. Robbie Fisk, thank you, my friend. Nosy the Wrestling God, appreciate it, buds. John Taylor, thank you, buds. Fitzy, appreciate it, my friends. Bradley, thank you, buds. Sweet Chin Wrestling, really appreciate it. Wrestling Burner, thank you, my friend. Robbie Fisk, thank you. Jang Tae Sang, thank you, my friend. Word of Wrestling with the custom thumbnail, the custom graphic. Appreciate it, dude. White Rabbit, thank you, buds. Lynette, thank you, my friend. Master Taker, thank you, buds. Hieronymus Drake, really appreciate it, dude. Angie, thank you. Tagged me in this, which actually I didn't see an update on, but friends have lost homes, countless more displaced, witnessing the LA fires and devastation that they're leaving behind is beyond heartbreaking. Just evacuated my own home. I've seen some other tweets from her, though. I don't know if we can go to her account. I wonder if there is an update. I meant to look at that. Aerial view of LA. I mean, honestly, thoughts. Look at this. Look at this. So this has been retweeted by Kathy Kelly throughout the day. So I don't know what the situation is with her. And so obviously thoughts with everyone affected, but yeah, LA, just absolutely horrific. So as we said, thoughts very much with the people of LA. So yes, thank you for bringing that to attention, Angie. Appreciate it. I think this went in the wrong folder. Kelly, the wise lady, thank you, my friend. Wrestling's biggest fan, thank you. Robin, shout out to you, buds. Appreciate it. Duke's Wrestling, thank you. Emmanuel, thank you, my friend. Stone Cold Scorp, thank you, bud. Lady Spectre, really appreciate the support. Raymond, thank you, my friend. Real Wrestling Fan, thank you, bud. And Billy, appreciated as always. So there we go. That was today's Unseen. I hope you enjoyed it, got something from it. And we will be back again tomorrow with Smackdown. Hopefully a really good Smackdown. Obviously the first Smackdown that's going to air on Netflix internationally. So we'll be back with that tomorrow and I'll have another Unseen for you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.